Alright, I'm gonna see if I'm live. If I'm not, then I'll just put somewhere else. I'll just wait a few seconds, maybe up to 18, maybe up to 30, who knows. Not basically begging for time here, but if it doesn't go by 30, then I'll move it somewhere else. So I have my ways. And well, looks like we're not live right now, so let's see what I can do here. Let's move it over here. There we go, we're live. Anyway. Yeah, I have loose pants, so that's fine. Anyway, so this is not a video from the Diamondustification. This is a diamond for Diamondustification, and also for others who want to hear from him. Now, who is Diamondustification? Well, he's dealt with fruit. Oh, I'm not live anymore. Anyways, he's dealt with fruit before, and my pants is okay. Come on, you got this. Oh my goodness. I cannot be downstairs right now. Not like this. I can be in his room, but not like this. So why do we have 0? And I'm like not the only one that can see this. Hello. Well, this might have to go on the camera. As you can see, someone's not going to let me downstairs because of all these things, and I can go to the snack room. But that's beside the point. Okay. Oh. My pants is loose. Sorry, I have to adjust for things. I'll figure it out. Am I live now? Just to see if I'm live.
Downstairs for Daniel.
To become live.
Because they don't want you to be downstairs without a staff member.
Sorry. Anyway, am I coming downstairs with me?
No, I'm sitting here right now.
I'll just sit in one of these seats.
Huh?
I'll just sit in one of these seats.
They don't want you over there where Caitlin's computer is, so you have to sit right there.
Yep. I'm sorry, folks. Hold on, this will take a little bit. My pants fell out again. Anyway, hello, Diamondustification. I am trying to set a few things up because I won't be live when I'm upstairs. So, ooh, it's actually good. Hey, I can actually do this. Sorry if I'm not even live. Oh my goodness. Please be live. There we go. So yeah, there we go. Everything. Well, there's the office. Anyway. Yeah, this house is different. Trust me. And I don't know if you saw her, but she's yeah, you know. Her name is literally her name is Tanisha, and she's literally one of these clients that are out of hand. So this is why I make it for a certain age group, because she can be a little offhand. Now what do I want to say? So diamondification works on plants. He works on fruit. Oh, this again. And what does fruit do? Like this. So what does fruit do? It produces fruit, and basically a farmer grows a fruit. So how does a grape grow? It's only based off of grapevines. Grapevines are actually good, but they need to be lifted up. Now, what Jesse told me about the berries is that they have like thorns. We don't gather. They said they don't gather berries from thorns, because nor do we gather grapes from thistles or thorn or anything from thistles, anything like that. Because whoever gathers everything from thorns has to be a lot more careful, because the berries itself, the berries themselves will literally prick you even if you gather the berry. It will basically shrivel up, and you'll get poked by the thorns anyway, for the most part. So, what does this have to do with being Christ-like, or being a shepherd to everyone? I hope this is not him. I better be one of those other guys. Anyway, so what does it mean to be a farmer of, let's say, berries? Berries. So they're the false people. They're the false teachers that are berries. They may seem sweet, but to grab them is to literally, have issues grabbing with thorns. They tear you apart, and all that crazy stuff. I know, and I'm not a farmer myself, but diamondistification, you can be, or Jesse, whatever you want to be called, you can be a person that will guide me through this. But so once you gather berries, it's like the bushes are trying to attack you. You come out like you've been slain. Then there's like wolves in sheep clothing. You've had to deal with any animal that is like a wolf or anything like that. Wolves are, you know what that you said in the other channel. They rush around to chase the big animal off its track, wherever it is. The herd. So there's a man wolf being chased off the herd by many wolves. The wound-ended animal. Yep. And then the wolf literally chases in a circle, and then one stays around, and then the other one meets it, and then they attack they attack the actual wolf, and then the wolf attacks the animal, and quite literally, it's the end of the animal's life if it doesn't get saved. And that's when Christ comes along and saves his sheep from the wolves, because wolves are ravenous. One wolf will come to meet the sheep, and everything will seem okay, but then the wolf will bring him other wolves, and the sheep will be brought off to the side and be met by other wolves, and then they will be, ravenously attacking the sheep. That's why we need Christ to actually help the entire flock. This is why we need Jesus to help the entire flock of the sheep. We are the sheep, and wolves are beings that are animals. Their purpose is to tear animals apart and eat, reproduce, and socialize to attack other animals, because they're vicious. They want to survive. They want to feed on the other animals. Where's she going?
Oh, no, it's fine. You don't want it?
So basically, these animals, these wolves, they deceive the animal onto going off the other track, like they go like this. The other animal goes with the wolf, and So let me not repeat myself. So what is another thing that a berry can be like, or a false teacher can be like? So what else? So Jesse, what is another thing that you've seen in the wild or anything like that that has something to do with the Bible? I know you've seen some people that are untrustworthy on the bikes or something like that. They are the ones that are, untrustworthy or something like that. But that's something spiritual, I think. I don't know. Like, how people are deceitful. I don't know. It's like, what have you seen in the wild that is quite literally part of the Bible? I know that you know about deer, right, Jesse? Hawks. Hey, that's cool. Well, what do you know? Oh, hey, Jesse, are you still on here? But hawks. What are the hawks like? So, what do the hawks do? Well, I've seen them swoop down from the sky. They're experts at flight. I'm assuming I'm offline now. So they're experts at flight, and they pounce on the prey, and the prey can only escape if the hawk is basically they have a lot of strength in them. The birds have to be careful about their situation. They have to basically they have to speak to each other to see about to tell where the hawk is. Some of them, like blue jays, are yeah, so that's cool. So yeah, hawks are like wolves, but they're like the wolf is like the bird of prey, and the bird is like the sheep. So yeah, I mean, hawks reproduce pretty well, and there are many birds, in the wild, but the hawks are, I would say that they're pretty much in groups, like you said, and they always go in a few groups like that, and you know, the funny thing about predators, especially wolves and hawks and whatever you call them, is that they literally come in packs. Some of them, most predators come in packs, so they can actually get the prey. And some predators are solitary, but basically a lot of predators that come with packs are just the animals are just they come in groups. They come in groups of many, and then they attack the one victim, the one animal. You know what I mean? Just like the same thing with false teachers. And what would you say is the thing that they comes from their own resources? So a false teacher would come with their own resources. So what in the Bible? What symbolic thing in the Bible comes from their own resources? Like what farm tool, what animal, anything like that, like comes from their own resources. He's just looking it up. I know that bees have like murder hornets have their own resources. Oh, I'm not live. Am I on? Oh, that's okay. I know. So you can call the murder hornets like the demons. Dang it! Just this. Oh, wait. I got it. So yeah. So probably the devil is like the murder hornet's queen, and the other hornets destroy the other bees, and that's the queen is basically the devil where they got it from, and then the murder horns themselves are basically the demons and people of high power and false prophets and teachers that are attacking the people of God. Some of them are the worldly people that are attacking the people of God. Oh my goodness. So what we have here is a funny combination of people that are deceived by demons, that are ruled, that are under the rule by the devil, and they are basically going to attack the Christians. So we are basically in the devil's threshold, the lowest people if possible, but in God's threshold, we're the highest people possible, except for the women, and they're basically equal with men, except women are basically different, and the women are meant for housekeeping. They're the rulers of the housekeeping, and the men are the rulers of the jobs and everything like that. That's what I believe, anyway. Women are supposed to take care of us. That's what they're supposed to rule under. But men are supposed to be the one that are ruling, the men are supposed to be overpowering and the power over, the men are supposed to be having power over the truth, the teachings, and everything like that. We're supposed to have the authority to preach and all that. But, sometimes we wonder, okay, what if a woman have to preach? I don't know. Maybe it's maybe it's up to God and them. I mean, God and them. But if the woman gets the idea from God, then that's good. Then they can tell what they heard from God, and then we can go on from there. Anyway, so yeah. This is being dark. And yeah, there are many wonderful women in the Lord. Women can be more kind than us, but sometimes they can be more ruly than us. It depends on the woman, of course. But like Joseph Bedell can be like a woman in the Lord. She has a different type of testimony, and many women do. But some of the women have the same testimony as, the man does. So in my opinion, it's up to God what the person needs to do. Like all the gifts are, it's up to God that, am I alive? I hope I am. Ow, what the heck was that gassy feeling? So, the women are basically, supposed to be kind of loyal to the husband, and basically the women are supposed to be, let's say, in the Corinthian church, they said they were supposed to be silent because they were making too much noise. But sometimes that's not supposed to be like that. I don't know, but if the women are being noisy, then just tell them to be a little bit more quiet. Then the men can do the teaching until at the end, and the woman can teach it. Then the women can talk to each other at the end. That's how it's supposed to be in the church. And I don't know if it's true, but I think the men also have to be silent during the preaching, because we're supposed to listen to the preacher instead of talking. And basically, I have to sit down on the ground because I'm getting a little bit. Let's see, there we go. So, anyway. Sorry. Just had to get more comfortable because this computer was sliding a lot. So yeah, anyway. I hope you can see me, Diamond. So anyway. Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah. So they should probably, they should probably cover their hair by that. It's in the New Testament also. So let me just get comfortable. As you can tell, my pants was falling off a lot. So yeah, that's cool because the cool thing about women is they have every right to talk to God, and they have every right to talk to their husbands, but they don't have every right, to try to change the world by force. You know, by the fruits of people that are like savages. That's not what we have the right to do. By savagery, we do not have every right to destroy people in every type of way. And that's the same with the false teachers. They do not have every right to go against the true sound teachings of God. So, I mean, we still have salvation. Yes, of course. Whoops, my bad. So we still have salvation, but we still have the fact is we still have many people who are trying to hide defending the faith. So we're still struggling no matter what. So I'm getting a little bit off topic, but it's like the deer panteth for the water. Now I've seen deer path before, and they're basically most of them rely on the road and they curve a lot. Their path curves a lot. So what do you say about So what do you think about deer paths on Diamondustification? You've seen them and they're pretty curvy, right? So what do you think about that, Diamond? The deer paths and how they get to the water and how they planted for the water and how you know how we can be like the deer sometimes. The deer are always struggling to find the resources that they need in the winter, and they're always struggling to stay away from predators. We can be sometimes like the deer. Oh, and their paths are very narrow, of course, yes. And they can be pretty curvy, but they can also be very, very narrow. And it's cool. The deer can always be pretty cool that way, Sometimes you don't have to see the deer to understand what the deer are like, and they also drink a lot of water. Oops. Yeah, I mean, so anyway, the deer are always looking for water. They find water, and sometimes water runs out. Sometimes, I don't know, do they eat snow? I know they look for some water, and the water's frozen. Then do they eat snow? I don't know. I just find it fascinating that deer survive off of everything that they can find, And well, deer are fascinating animals. That's all I can say. And they leave paths where they can basically make their own highways off of their own skinny paths. It's pretty darn cool. And then there are humans. We know a lot about humans, but we base ourselves off of fruit and animals. So some animals are like let's say a fox. You've seen some fox on Diamondustification. I know you have. They I've seen a fox do something very interesting, fascinating, very powerful as well. So what I've seen at the oh cool. That's so cool, actually. So what a fox does is they literally stay in one position looking natural, and a squirrel will just come up to it thinking, well, it's something I can go past, but then suddenly the fox suddenly just leaps on the squirrel and eats it for its own meal. And you know how the devil is like that? He says, okay, I'm being natural, the people are being natural, and suddenly the fox attacks, and then the squirrel gets wounded, that sort of stuff. And these guys are just like false prophets and false teachers. They're literally, people that look and that act natural, but then they destroy our spiritual lives. Not literally, completely, but they basically stop our spiritual lives from being really, really in line with God. So we have to basically have to remember that there's a lot of predators out there. There's foxes, there's hawks, there's wolves, there's bears, there's raccoons, which are omnivores, of course. There are eagles, there are falcons, there are seals, and even then, they can go on the land. They eat they eat the seagulls. They're the cats. They're the mountain lions. They're the lions and jaguars of the earth. And the more I think about it, there's also things like diseases. Like, about that diamondustification. You know about that. A disease hinders our ability to think and all that. You would be good for this message, diamondustification. I mean, you should probably do more of this, just calm people down. And diseases make us feel sick and makes you not think straight and taste straight and all sorts of really interesting stuff. It can make us not breathe as easy, so we can be not as active and sometimes do horrible things like, and that, the devil can have things like that with a disease. He can be like a disease in that he hinders our walk. He has his special demons of work that can literally, trespass in our walk with God and hinder us from walking with God. You can do that more on your video. I'm pretty sure you know about that more than I would. Yeah, I know he's not brilliant. And that is it. No, that's good. That's all right. And oh, and basically, don't see anything. Could go upstairs and that would be good. So yeah, I mean, so basically, so I'm telling you now is that. So I'm going downstairs. Sorry, I'll just have it on the stairs. I don't want to come downstairs with this thing right there. So basically, I'm online, yes. So basically, there's a lot of truth. So there's a lot of truth in bad situations that we can really connect the dots with the diseases and animals with God's true people and false people. Like diseases and bad animals are like bad people. And the herbivores and all that are like good people. Except for the goats. And the goats are, have you heard of what goats do? I've seen a goats misbehave a lot. They always think, oh, I can poke my head through the fence because it's going my way. And sorry, that was itchy. And they think, oh, he'll be all right. Like they assume everything's gonna be all right, and they just don't think about anything. They just don't think. And the goats, quite literally, stick their head through the fence, and their horns get stuck on it, and they need the farmer's help, but they do not want the farmer to touch their horns. And basically, when God corrects them, they just do it again anyway because they just think they can just do things without learning. So another way the goat is rebellious is that they're very much unique with each other, and they're pretty much divided amongst each other, but they are in unison with each other as well. Is that they're just always not listening to the farmer. They don't listen like the sheep do. When the people direct the path of the sheep literally go in a regular path. But when they don't go in the path where the shepherd leads, then they go in straight lines back and forth. They lead like literal straight paths of a line on the farmer's field because they don't know where else to go. They just leave a straight path on the line. And that's true in the sense that they are, literally, literally. Is this Jack?
I think it's that.
Anyway, I might have to go soon.
To go to the round?
Anyway, so sheep always stay in the path because their path is very much straight because so yeah, so I mean, yeah, well, you know more about sheep diversification than I would, but they'd be running in holes because we need a shepherd. The sheep basically us. We need God. We need God as a shepherd more than we think we do because we're just like sheep. We need God, and basically, who is God to us if we are always going in holes and always going into mud places and basically falling down the stairs if we need to, and falling off the ramps, and we're not really fit to go by ourselves, For Jesus is our shepherd and only good shepherd, because he is the one that is true and the only one that is good, and only he is the perfect one, and we need that Christ, And Jesus, he created everything alike, just like our stories are alike, So yeah, I mean, it's funny how the sheep are just like us, and the animals are also, I mean, the deer are always going in small paths. And the coolest thing that could happen is, we get to meet God in heaven, and he will just tell the story. And tell the story of all of our lives, and we'll be like family in heaven. Jesse, about the family, right? How you didn't really have a family? I mean, I know you've heard about adopted families, because we strive, because in our weaknesses we are strong, because we know this, we know it's a spiritual battle more than anything else. So,
okay.
Hold on. Hold on. That's okay. Anyway. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool, features of how we can do everything like, I mean, basically what Jesus said in the Bible is, not one is the same, but he also said that he comes to divide with a sword. And the people that are good fruits, those are the people that are truly saved. And those are the bad fruits, like the berries that always shrivel up and make you look like a cat attacks you. Those are the berries. Those are the fruit that are the bad fruit, and that always cause you to be cut in a few places. Maybe the berries make you messy, and thorns and how bad they can. Oh, dear me, how is this not stable over here? Oh, I'm sorry. I should bring it over here because of the fact that something is not connecting right. So yeah, I mean, but berries. When you have the berries just wrong, when you're gathering berries, where was I? Yeah, basically, Jesus was always talking about the thorn bushes and how they were, you know, not always, but sometimes he was talking about the thorn bushes and how horrible it would be to be gathered in to be gathering stuff from thistles and gathering stuff from thorns, because he was talking about the farmers basically would rather stay away from thorn bushes because he would never get stuff from the thorn bushes because that stuff can really, I mean, it's like you know the cat claws, that stuff is, and you know cat claws are like thorn bushes and they can really stick onto your skin, and when you pull it too hard it kind of rips out your skin, I mean, and there are thistles that are like in the grass. These things are sharp and very pointy, and basically the people that put him on the cross put thistles on his forehead as a crown and grabbed his walking stick and hit it on his head and said, "Oh, aren't you the king of the Jews, eh?" And they mocked him, saying that he's the king of the Jews, putting horrible things on him. Um, to mainly talk about fruit and the farmer stuff, I'm going more towards that because I feel that this is my calling to do right now. You know what? Basically, people that said, "Oh, yeah." So I mean, yeah, I feel so sorry that Christ had to wear a crown of thorns on his head and get knocked on the head with his own staff because these things were all dear and personal to him. It was his walking stick and his clothes were torn. He bared that shame and horror. It was so terrible what he had to go through because it was so sad what he had to go through. But he did this for us. It was by him that we are saved. He said, "I'm not going to be a king over here for now." He said that I'm not being the king in heaven, but you can rule the king, oh Father. He said, I'm gonna lead the earth. I'm not even gonna be king of the earth. That way, I can save the people some way I can. And then he died on the cross the way he told everyone that he would do it, in an interesting way. And he told him, "I'm gonna do it. I choose. I choose to do it, O Lord, for I am the Lord, and you are in me. I choose to do this mission, and I will, you know, do it in return of glory of my people, me, And then he did it just for us because he described the fruit and he described the farmers. He described it all in parables because if he did it in another way, people would already get it, and they would be more in danger of hell than hellfire than anything else, said one teacher in modern day. And you know what's crazy? He did it in a way that we would understand and not the way the world would understand. So right now I'm doing it in terms of, parables. Like, how electricity goes through us and brings us back to life and it can basically kill us? It is a dangerous energy that we're abusing, that we're taking from the earth. Not to say it in a New Age sort of way, but, the light bulbs are basically dangerous. If you touch the electric part of the light bulb or plugs, you could end up killing yourself. But in the same way, it could revive you back from, partial death or maybe even death itself if you do it just right. Your defibrillators are basically little patches on your chest, not these bulky things back from the 70s. These are little patches, like little tiny patches that they put on skin, electric patches, and they say clear, and it beeps, and that's it. It's funny. And it's funny because the electricity itself is sometimes not noisy at all. Sometimes it's silent. Sometimes it's loud, like lightning. But when it's loud, it goes really fast. It goes really fast and very messy. But if it's not messy, it's very silent. It's very quiet. Like a motor of a machine can be loud because, well, it's trying to move something. It's very much, not in unison, but it's in unison to move something. That can be said the same about demons and how they can be very noisy when moved in an annoyance, but when they're, agreeing with each other and then they're happy, they're silent. And that's why the devil fell by lightning. He fell to the earth like lightning. And the demons bring you back to, they bring, I don't know how they do bring people back to life, but when you get zapped alive, it hurts. It hurts a lot. But the funny thing is, when you're brought back to life, you really hurt. But you're alive, but you're really hurt. Same with hell, but you're not really alive. You're dead again. And it's like you're alive, but you're really more like dead than ever before. When you get zapped again, I don't know what the medical problem with procedures are, but if you're ever struck by lightning, you're more dead than usual. If you're struck by a defibrillator, they have to check your pulse and all that. I don't know about that in real life, but I think you have to be checking your pulse more than once. So if you're alive, and they have to check you more. They have to check you more, not more ever, because defibrillators can do marvelous things if done right. Because if you're brought back to life, it's wonderful. But electricity to the heart can actually bring a little bit of scar tissue that can actually give you a heart attack. And that's a straight thing that can happen, everyone, to anyone. And, that's why they bring up appointments to anyone that has a defibrillator to check on your heart. They always check on your heart no matter what, but So anyway, what I'm talking about is, that can happen too. That's when into life with Christ, defibrillators can be quite that way, in that they're also like spirits, the electricity can be like spirits because they can be silent in some way to actually bring you back from death into life. It can be painful in some ways, but can also be better in others. And, it can be a trialing time. when you're in the hospital. I've heard about stories like that. Some of them true, some of them not. But for the most part, I know what it's like to be in the hospital. These people are quite literally suffering. They're in pain. They don't like it, and they have to deal with the pain that they have to endure. But they'll get over it one of these ways or not. I mean, if they get over it by death, then let's hope they go to heaven. If they don't, well, they won't get over it. But my point is, I would say electricity is just like spirits. Like this light bulb, you can see the light from the light bulb, That's like watts, I would say like 90 watts for a regular, like not CFL, but like a regular incandescent, 90 watts for a regular one. And 80 for another regular one, and 60 for an efficient one. Something like that, and 45 for a very efficient one. 120 for a very bright one. Depends on the wattage, depends on how bright the room is. I think this is like a 90 watt right there, or, more than that. And because it's so bright, that electricity, it can really blind you. Like God's light can really blind you. So I know it's like, and the funny thing is, a light can really strengthen your eyes from the day into night, because let me show you what it's like to be here when it's dark. Let's hope I don't hear anything. Let me turn off one of the lights. That's not it. This is it. Now you can't see anything. That's when there's no more electricity. That's when everything is dark, because there's no light in here. I can still see the computer, but you can't see a thing. Now, when I do this, you guys can see everything, because there's now light. Light makes up, light is the light in our path. Like electricity can be a light in our path, and the sun can be a light in our path. Because we don't see a thing, well, when we're blinded, we don't see a thing. Our paths are crooked, and we, fall a lot, and a people that is blinded, let's say, for example, they cannot see and they bump into everything, and they shall not see any of the truth in the gospel. So anyone that can see, they can, in the spiritual sense, they can see the gospel. But if they're not seeing anything, they can't see in the spiritual sense in the gospel. So basically, before I leave, God put a lot of things in thought when he made this earth. Why is everything the way it is? Why are we the way we are? Because it was created by God in a way that is very mysterious. But everything that matches on earth, that's the way God wanted to prepare it for. And that's the way he wanted it to be. Because it's perfect. It's a perfect order through God. And that's the way he wanted it to be. But heaven is a truly perfect place that we can actually... And heaven is a truly perfect place that we will have more perfection there. Earth is just a glimpse of perfection. Well, anyway, I'll be done now, okay? Bye. Sorry about that.
What's your name on YouTube? Can I look for you up?
True Salvation.
Really? I love the name.
Yeah, it's one letter.
I was looking for your real name and it wasn't coming up.
Yeah, I know.